Hey Freckles, come and say hi, yeah. Hey everybody, it's Friday, day before the contest, 25 meter, and I'm here to practice for an hour, but I also thought maybe you guys would like to see what it's like to get set up for a tournament like this. So I just put my bow case down. I'm gonna go put the phone in a stand, then I'm gonna undo my case and show you what it looks like and some of the things that you might find useful when you're going into a tournament. So pausing for just a second. Okay, here's my typical bow case. I've got a fancy one tube down the side, unzips, like everybody else. I think they suck. They don't have pockets where you need them, and they got pockets where you don't need them. They're the wrong size. They have a case inside for your limbs and for your riser, but the case has Velcro on it, so when you put it in, you have to try to rip it out. There's a zipper that's on the top half that only opens up 3/4 of the way, so you got to reach in and pull out that case, but the case is Velcroed into the inside of the backpack. It's like they were all designed by some vice president's idiot son-in-law or something like that. This is as good as I've seen for a short recurve case. I'm not promoting them, even this one's just okay. But because it's got a loop on this side, and then on the other side of the zipper is the other side. So you can't open this thing up because this gets in the way. Where was the thinking in that? Some idiot put it together. I have to take this off. Let's go and see what's inside Mark's case. Everything you need to go into competition. We've got a super nice, easy clip on your belt quiver. This is what you guys want. I got to give Easton all due credit. This is actually really handy. This whole case, this comes off and can go on this side if you're a left-handed archer. Brilliant. It's got one big pocket down the side where I put my glove, I put glasses, I put an extra pen, I've got some beeswax, I got a few spare parts, I've got super glue, I've got some extra fletchings, and I've got some extra arrow points. And that's about it. That's all there is. If I need more than that, I'm not going to be able to compete. It's got a nice little pocket on the side here, being able to put your scorecard or a pen. Just all around, it's just big enough. Just big enough. I got a piece of surgical tubing because you're going to have to warm those muscles up. And this is necessary. Go buy yourself a piece. You can get it at Home Depot. Don't go buy something expensive at Dick's Sporting Goods or some other sporting goods store. You're just going to go and buy a 4-foot piece, surgical tubing. You're going to tie it on one end, tie it on the other. You're going to pull on it until eventually it breaks, and then you're going to buy another one. But you'll be surprised at how good that is at warming up. Because most of the time, when you start competing, what I'm learning is that you're going to shoot 30 rounds, 30 ends of 3 arrows each. Or sorry, you're going to shoot 20 rounds, 20 ends of 3 arrows each. But you're only going to get 3 practice ends. That's a total of 3, 6, 9. You get 9 shots. And then you're competing. The next one are all for score, and that's not enough time to warm up. And they don't let you go and shoot. You can't show up early and start shooting to warm up. With COVID and everything, you're only allowed to show up about 30 minutes before you compete. So that's it. So really, as far as warming up goes, this is the only thing you're gonna have, is try to warm those muscles up. I got a cheap folding bow carrier. I don't like this one. It should have a little sleeve in here that holds the bow to keep it from rotating. I think all of these are bad because they put your recurve bow long and on the ground, and there's all kinds of other archers out there, compound archers next to you, where the bow sits straight up and down in a little wing that clips on. So they're used to their bows being up and out of the way, and they're constantly kicking your bow over. They apologize and everything, but it still happens. So I might find a way to put some other kind of a sleeve on here to keep my bow from rotating, but it'll do for now. What else? I got a pocket for my riser. Again, This is the EXE Scream that I got from Lancaster Archery. I've been super impressed with this riser, super impressed. I have to wear a glove because it's a little bit sharp right here and right here. I think that was kind of a bad idea on their part, a little bad design, that the web of your hand gets up inside there and pushing, but if you wear a glove, it feels fine. I'm going to set that off to the side. I got 2 separate limb pockets for each of my limbs. I've got my bowstring right here. Get it out of the way with as few folds as possible. Don't wind it up, don't twist it up, don't anything. As few folds as possible to get it inside the case, done. And I've got my arm guard. That's just a basketball sleeve. One of those warm-up sleeves with a piece of craft foam in it. That's it. Been using this piece for years. This piece right here, this piece might be about 9 years old. No wear on it at all. But I've gone through probably 5 sleeves in 9 years. You just, as they rub against there, they wear out. So you just keep replacing that and you put the sleeve back in. And that's it. You know, for Barebow competitors, that's all we got. That's all there is in here. There's nothing else. Let's go set up, get ready to do a little shooting. Actually, what I wanted to say was this. If you get those things covered, a place to hold your riser, a separate pockets for your limbs, a separate pocket, a long pocket for your bowstring, just enough room that the whole thing has to be long enough that it can handle your quiver with the arrows inside, so you don't have to carry them in a tube. Yeah, you're gonna do pretty well, and that's what this is. This thing was only about, I don't know, 20, 25 bucks. So let me go get set up for shooting at 25 meters, and I'll see you in a minute. I'm gonna take you guys down to put the target up too. We've got a couple of pins here. Got a couple of pins. You'll have to try to straighten them out. They always get hit, they always get bent, they always get twisted. They just got a little pull on one side. This holds the paper on, you push them in. They're not brain surgery. But I think there's smart ways and there's less smart ways to actually put your target up. That's what I want to share with you guys. So we've got your standard, 40 centimeter target that you see here. Standard in competition. Let's go down and put it up. You're going to be given a choice of lanes to work in. You're going to be assigned a lane. Chances are you're going to be assigned a left side or a right side. I'm going to shoot right down the middle today. So let's get set up right here. What I want you guys to realize is this. It's going to make a difference if you put it up there haphazardly or if you put it up there well. Put it up there nice and square. Don't accidentally put it off to this side. Don't put it off to this side. Mentally, it's going to change the way you think. If you get off to this side, you're going to be scared of hitting here. And you're going to find that your shots are going to start going off to the right. If you put it off to this side too much, your brain is going to see this boundary. And whether you like it or not, it's going to say, beware, Will Robinson, danger, danger. And you're going to start shooting to the left. So get it nicely situated. Don't go too high for the very same reasons. If you go too high, you're going to start thinking here, you're going to be afraid of it. And if you go down too low, that's going to feel weird too. So put the center here, put it right even with your collarbone right there if you can. That's what you're going to see me do. And then you're going to pin one corner down, just one corner to start. Make sure it's well out of the way of where the points are. Then you're going to step way back and you're going to make sure, don't let it tip. Don't let it tip down, don't let it tip up. It will change the way you shoot at it. You will think differently. It will be a distraction when the whole idea is that you don't need distractions. So I'm going to step back. I'm going to look at this line right here and try to make it as parallel to that one as possible. And now, when you're really close, you can't really tell if it's level. You need to take a few steps back. So I'm going to take a few steps back, and I'm going to look at it again and ask myself, is there anything distracting about the way that I've actually put it up? It's a little bit left off to this side, but it's not going to be a distraction for me. I'm going to do, actually it is, I'm going to change it a little bit. Take another look at it. It's a little high on this side. And it will, you will notice stuff like this. Everybody, when they start shooting, you kind of get kind of OCD about everything, and it'll throw you off. Let's take another look. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, smooth from the center out. Press it in, smooth from the center out. Hold it, press it in. And that's about as good as it's going to get. There. Thought you guys would find that useful. Again, it's about removing any deliberate distractions that you have control over. Get rid of them. Wear the same hat all the time. Don't let the air blow around on your hair, because that blowing around might be a distraction for you. So take it out of play. All right, let's get set up here. Be about like that. I'm gonna pause while I get my bow all set up. I guess I'll show you guys that too. Keep shooting, Mark. Okay. You got a riser and you've got two limbs. The limbs, for all intents and purposes, look exactly the same. So how do you know which one goes up, which one's the up one, which one's the down one? What always works is that on the back side of them, there's going to be some kind of writing. And when you can read this, when the lettering is upright, that's the lower limb. If it was upside down, you wouldn't be able to read it. So then you know it's not supposed to be the top limb. It's supposed to be the bottom, which means this one is supposed to be the top. Pretty easy. Always start off with the limb you know then. I can read this one, so it's the bottom. Hold the riser in your hand, bottom down. Done. Now do the reverse on the top limb. And there we go, ready to go. When you string from the bottom, pull all the way up. You're gonna see me actually string my bow with my feet. I'm gonna call out why I think that this is possible. If you're strong enough, that's absolutely the way you wanna do it. Let's adjust a little bit here so you can see. There we go. I need to find out which side is the up side and which side is the bottom side of my string. I know from experience that my string is actually shorter near the top. My knocking point is on the up side, so I know that this is the top, which means this is the bottom. The other way that you can look is at the size of the loops. Almost always, the bottom loop is going to be smaller. So you see how it's a little bit smaller? That's the bottom side. You're going to see me start putting the loop on, and then while keeping tension on it, I'm drawing it all the way up and over to the back side of this side here. Always under tension. Then I'm going to step through, place this side against my shin. See there down on the bottom? On this one, it's on this side, it's the flat of my hand. I'm not grabbing. If you grab, you have the possibility of twisting. If you twist it, you're doing something with those limbs they were never designed to do, to twist. They were designed to bend, that's all. So by putting the flat of your hand here, you're guaranteeing you're not putting any twisting on. Then just be ready with the string, bend gently, slip it over the top. Now, I gotta take that foot out. Oftentimes, if you're in a pinch, you have to do it all alone. Make sure this knee is bent a little bit, because then when you lift this leg up, you'll have all kinds of balance, provided this leg is bent. The minute you straighten this leg up, you lose that degree of freedom, and it's a lot harder to try to stay in a position. Bend the knee slightly, and you take the bow off your leg. Don't try to move your leg out of the bow. Take the bow off your leg. You'll see that that's actually a lot easier to do. Put your foot down. Make sure the loop is on. Make sure the loop is on. It actually needs a little bit of work. I'm going to reposition this one. Same thing. Bend the knee. Take the bow off your foot, not your foot out of the bow. Check both loops. Make sure they're actually on the nock on both sides. Draw it once. Make sure that it looks like it's on. Don't twang it. It looks like it's ready to go. All right, now I'm going to get set up. A little bit more about the quiver and why I think that this is so much superior to having a belt on. Yes, it requires that you have to have a belt. But what you find out at most tournaments is that space for your equipment is kind of at a premium. It's hard to find, which means if you have a big, bulky belt that slaps things around, you're going to start knocking stuff down. It's just going to get in the way. So an itty bitty little clip-on like this is so much simpler. When you're done, it comes off and you lay it down on a table. You're out of everybody's way. When you invariably need to go to the bathroom or you need to go and sit down with people, this comes off way easier, and it still carries all the same stuff. So go with the clip-on. There's no shame in it. It's actually really handy. Next step, we got to warm up. Don't blow your warm-ups. Don't blow all your shots doing your warm-up. Do your warm-up like this. Just do a stretch, especially your back. What you find out is that after shooting for about 3 hours, you're going to be a little sore in the lower back. So make sure you stretch that out too. You're going to see me stretch up and down, up like this, a lot like this. This is the draw after all. But do this up and down the whole frame so you get a good warm up of all of those back muscles. After even about 5 or 10 of these, just 5 or 10, you're going to feel those muscles warm up fast. You're going to be like, wow, it feels warm already. Even as I'm talking to you, I feel those muscles. They're hot. They're getting warm right now. Feels good. Think about what you're doing. Think about putting the tip of the arrow right smack on the target, holding it, holding it, holding it, holding it. Down. All right, ready to take a few shots. Camera's running. This is the glove I was telling you guys about. Actually, it's 1/2 of a set of regular baseball batting gloves. They're the best. Batting gloves, I don't know if you guys knew this. Batting gloves, because they're gripping around a baseball bat, they got really long fingers so that they grip around. They make the best golf gloves. Shh, don't tell anybody. Baseball gloves make the best golfing gloves ever. Long fingers, and they're inexpensive. So you want $30 for a single glove, and you're going to wipe it out in a month of playing in golf. But this baseball glove will last me a couple of seasons. It gives me something common, and now it doesn't matter if my bow has been sitting out in the Jeep and it's cold, or if it's been sitting indoors and it's hot, because I can't really feel it, so it's not going to be a distraction. You guys have seen my neat glove with some extra little inserts in there to make it thicker, because I think I shoot better when I've got a thicker set of fingers. That's another video that I've already shown you guys on how to make those adjustments. So now it looks like I'm ready to go. Make sure that that's nice and snug. You want this under tension the whole time. You do not want this loose at full draw. If it's loose, that means the fingers are going to come off. As you let go of the arrow, the fingers are going to come out. So you want it under tension, which is why I've got that extra stitching. So it looks like I'm ready to go. "25 meters. Shot number 1. Beep! Trying not to panic here. Trying to make sure I really put the tip of that arrow right smack on the yellow. Not get scared of it right from the beginning. 3.5 finger gap. Try to clear my mind, step through my 5 steps. Step 1, pick the gap. Step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. 9 o'clock black. Not as good as I'd like. You know what I'm like when I talk. So the rest are going to be quiet. Six o'clock blue. Very nice. You guys are going to see me holding my bow a special way. I'm not going to be gripping it. If you grip it, you're going to be able to pull it. You're going to see me pushing my 2 fingers out like this, and these are going to be curled. This, actually, here's what the shot's going to look like. You are the center of the target. There, see my muscle shaking? That's what I gotta do. That's what I'm trying to overcome. There we go. Off the target. Hung on too long. Good thing this is the warm-up. Seven o'clock black. The other one was 6 o'clock white. 0. Don't get mad at yourself during warm-ups. Three o'clock black. You can hear that tip. You can hear it rattling, so I'm tightening it up right now. 2 o'clock blue. Let's go take a peek, and then I'm going to shoot a few rounds and not share those with you. The videos get too long, that's all. This is just your typical warm-up. Don't get mad at yourself about it. Not great, but not horrible. Don't get mad. All right. I'm going to pull all these arrows, we're going to pause, I'm going to shoot for a while, but not show you unless there's a reason to. See ya. Round 3. Coming in a little bit, just not with all the arrows. So we see green, the blue, 2 in on the blue and the red. A couple that are still just screamers out there all around. Keep working at it. 5. Improvement. They're all staying on the paper. All a little high, but hey, they're in the white. There aren't any crazies. What was I doing different? I was trying to really hold the draw, and I get a little shaky at that point. Hold it, make it go on there, let it go. Let's keep trying. We're still on round 5. We're trying to look at the target and see if there's anything that we can discern. Even distribution all the way across, not much in the middle here. So you could say still a little shaky, still tending over here. So I haven't really cured my target panic today. That this is still fairly empty, noticeably empty compared to everything being around there. So we're back to that same old, if it's empty in the middle and it's evenly distributed around the edge, then you end up shooting everywhere but where you're aiming, which is the center. Let's work on it. I feel a little bit different. I'm starting to warm up. Sadly, it's after 5 rounds, not after 3 or 2. I'm still shooting like it doesn't matter, and that's the hardest part about practicing all by yourself, is that you end up with this real feel that you're just practicing. And instead you have to try to cultivate that artificial feeling that you're competing and this does matter. That's what I'm trying to find, that focus. Like there's somebody here that I have a need to try to prove something and I don't have it. I have to invent it. That's what I'm looking for. Let's give it another try. Round 6, and I'm okay with everything that I shot except for one that I'm just disappointed with myself. This. When you know you're going to do it and you still do it anyways, the rest of them are just okay. And I'm not going to win anything at that rate tomorrow. Everything's got to be in the red tomorrow, or I'm going to get blown away by Robert Hopper and the other guys that are nationally ranked. So there's work to be done. Round 7, a better round. Something happened and I was able to focus. I started thinking, little yellow bird, little yellow bird, little yellow bird, little yellow bird, instead of about just nothing. And I ended up with a lot tighter group. That's all 6 of them in there. And 1 yellow. You could guess what I'm going to be thinking about next round. Little yellow bird. All right, let's go kill Tweety. Coming back, getting ready for round 9. I just have to add something. The funny thing is, you never have to worry about any of this crap when you're out actually hunting and you're aiming at a rabbit or you're aiming at a deer. The deer is the reason. It pushes everything out. The minute he shows up at 40 meters or at 45, the minute he shows up and he looks up at you and you go squinting, staring at him, he finally decides he can't see you and he starts walking crossways towards you. And now he's at 30. Man, your focus is razor sharp. There's no trying to invent this is important. This is important, and you never have to think about any of this crap. It's only when you're shooting at paper targets that you have to try to invent all this importance and stuff like this. Yeah. We're going to look at my shot in just a minute, but there's something else I wanted to share, another little revelation. I've been trying. Let me set my bow up way up here. Is that going to help? Nope. Let me set it, I guess, right here. I've been holding the bow inside my grip right here, like the videos I'll tell you to. But the truth is, guys, that just ends up making your fingertips turn into big fat balls after even a few seconds. I do a lot better if I'm gripping right there in the middle of my pads. My release is a lot better like this. If I'm gripping like they tell me to in all the videos, where you get a good strong pull this way, it's impossible to try to let that thing go without the bow going somewhere weird. So when I started shooting back to my fingertips, I'm strong enough. I can handle a 45-pound bow, but my release is going to be a lot better. Let's go see what happens on round 9. You'll be able to tell which of these shots I shot with gripping it like this and which ones I caught gripping it like this, the middle of my pads. Can you guess which one I was trying to grip too hard on, which one I was trying to grip too hard on, and then when I went back to gripping in the middle of my finger instead of here, a lot smoother release and everything came back into the center. So, one more round to go and then we're done for the day. Got to take a break, get a good night's sleep in, stuff like that. Let's pull them. Going back for round 10, last round. One thing I have noticed, the mantra seems to be working. Not the mindset. It's not a target, it's a little yellow bird. What actually seems to be what's working was not trying to change the way I thought about the target, but the mantra itself. It's something that drives out all of the other things that are absorbing, that are vying for your attention and helping you focus. I'll probably be spending the rest of the evening going on YouTube, scouring it for other tips on how to achieve that level of focus. What do the pros think about when they're shooting? And I hope the hell they don't say nothing. That's going to drive me crazy. It's got to be something that you can focus about. So here goes. 8:09 and it's minus 2 degrees, and I'm not allowed to go in until 8:30. So we'll just have to sit in the Jeep and stay warm like everybody else. Looks like they had shooters here at 7:30 in the morning. There's at least 10 cars here. I'm glad I picked 9 a.m. this time. Should be interesting. There's a big difference between nervous and anxious. It's the direction of your lips. This is anxious. This is nervous. This is anxious. Like when you're going on vacation, there's still stress, but it's happy stress because your mouth goes like this. You're smiling. Big difference. It's all you have to do, and you can force yourself to smile, and it changes the way you feel instantly. You should try it sometime. I think I'm going to go in and see if they kick me out. I don't want to sit in here for 20 minutes. Still minus 2 outside. We're getting ready to shoot. 25 meter ITAA indoor target. So a lot more recurves today than there were at the 18 meter contest.
Yeah, no worries.
No, it's okay. A lot fewer compound bows. And a handful of bare bows like me. Should be fun. We already had our bows inspected. They all just fit in a 1 foot in diameter ring. No extra gizmos on them or anything like that. It's cold in here. They just turned the heat on when we got here. Should be interesting. Kishwaukee Archery Club is pretty cool. Does seem to warm up pretty fast here. All right. You're not going to see me videotape very often. Got to get my head in the game. There's Mark's entire target for the whole competition at 25 meters. I had a lot of red. I had a fair amount of blue, but I had a lot of red, and I had a handful of yellows. But I still got a little crazy on the outside because, hey, it's 25 meters. But after my second competition in my life, my second tournament, I ended up taking second place in the 25 meter state tournament. I'm okay with second. I got to shoot two lanes down from Robert Hopper, who took first place. He got a wooden plaque. I'll take the medals any day. He was great to shoot against. I got to go see what his score was because you're never paying attention to stuff like that. But I was taking pictures of a lot of our shots each time. I was comparing lane 3A to my lane 5A. And there were times when he was tighter consistently overall, but there were probably 7 ends out of the 20 where I either had him toe-to-toe or I even bettered him slightly, and that was his lane where he spread out a little bit. So, and I saw his target too. His target, surprisingly, looked pretty darn similar to mine without these. So if you count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, if you count 11 white shots and only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, that's a pinhole from the spike. 7 misses in the whole thing. 7 misses, down from 9. My score at 25 meters was 292, 291. My score at 18 meters 2 weeks ago was 255. So we went farther back and I shot better, which is absolutely the direction that you want to be. If you're going back, you always want to be improving, and really, there's not that much difference between 18 meters and 25 meters. It's 7 meters. It's not like it's 20 or 30 or something like this. So, yeah, I was really happy. I was happy to get the medal. I'm super pleased about that. I know my daughters are going to be happy with me, and I can't wait to go and compete in another tournament. What else did I want to think about while the Jeep's warming up? I had a different mindset. I tried the figure 8 thing. It was too small. I don't know, I couldn't make it small enough to stay on the target. I also noticed that I wasn't shaking that much. But in the end, the last 4 ends from 17, 18, 19, and 20, I found myself stepping up in between other barebowers who really were quite good. One named Alex, young guy, under 20. I found myself going hunting instead. I was looking down there and it was like the yellow was just too big. I needed something smaller. So I started to imagine that I was shooting at a deer, and that spot that I looked for right behind the front shoulder, right behind that elbow, that's a tiny little spot that I can mentally think about. And suddenly my shots started coming in. I think I got 3 of these last 4 bullseyes were all just in the last 3 ends, and it made a difference. So I'll be trying to carry that in. The other thing that I got to work on, and guys, there's no replacement for this. You got to show up at tournaments and you got to compete under stress. You got to compete when you're cold. It's -1 here. The building was not nice. I'll be curious to see what everybody else's scores. It took the first half for the building to warm up where everybody's not actually kind of shivering as they're shooting. But there's no substitute. There's no amount of reading you're going to do to handle that stress other than to get in there and experience the stress and shoot under it. My first 3, 4 ends, the scoring ends, they sucked. They were mediocre at best, like 1, 2, 1, 2 misses, 1, stuff like that. That's where all those white shots were. I just couldn't get warmed up fast enough. I couldn't stabilize. I couldn't get steady, like in a groove. And then towards the end, you start like around end number 12, 13, 14, you start to feel a little weary, and you see one round where it's all in the black ring, black and white. It was like a 3 points instead of 20. Horrible. And that's what put me out of contention for first place. Never had a chance. I'm talking a blue string. I had a great time, and now I'm going to go looking for something at least 25 meters, maybe even farther than that, waiting for outdoor stuff. Had a really good time. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me practice and get through with this. Hope you take pictures or screenshots of what this looked like. What I'm really happy about here is I got stuff inside the yellow ring and I got stuff inside the red, so I was able to control the target panic. It was more a question of getting my range correct for 25 meters and there's a few crazies. It was just working with the stress, but this is a sign of maybe not recovery from target panic, but the beginning of control of target panic. And that's what this whole excursion, this whole adventure of competing was all about, to show you guys, all you newbie archers and even older guys that are getting back in the sport, that you can make progress, and I'm making progress. Yeah, that's it. Mark Vo with VOGTLAND Outdoors. We'll see you out there. Bye.